Alien kidnappers stunned by Earth's deadliest teens. The night was silent and still as a group of 5 teenagers made their way back from their annual survival camp in the mountains of Montana. Chloe, Malik, Zoe, Sam, and Leo were seasoned campers, each with a specific skill set honed over years of outdoor training. Their coach called them the ultimate survival squad. They were used to roughing it out in the wild, but none of them could have prepared for what awaited them tonight. A sharp, blue light flashed across the sky, and a soft humming filled the air. Before they could react, beams of light surrounded each of them. Their instincts kicked in. They tried to run, scatter, dive, but there was no escape. The lights engulfed them one by one until all that remained was an empty clearing and the faint trace of the smell of ozone. When they regained consciousness, they found themselves in a small, dimly lit room. The air felt thick and strange, carrying an unfamiliar metallic taste. Chloe rubbed her temples and looked around, groggy and disoriented. The room's walls had a silvery sheen, faintly glowing with blue lines running through them. Zoe was the first to make sense of it. We're on a spaceship," she stammered, trying to keep the panic at bay. Malik looked at her in disbelief. "You mean like aliens?" he asked, though the evidence was hard to ignore. "Aliens," Sam confirmed, staring at a small, insect-like creature walking past the room, holding what appeared to be a high-tech clipboard. As the gravity of their situation set in, the door to the room slid open, revealing a tall, green-skinned alien with elongated limbs and an air of superiority about it. It made a strange gurgling noise, which, surprisingly, the teens could understand. "Primitive species, inadequate intelligence," it muttered in apparent disappointment. It looked at them with a gaze that reeked of disdain. "They'll be easy subjects for our experiments." The alien turned to leave, but Leo, typically the quietest of the group, spat out, "Primitive? You have no idea who you're dealing with." The alien paused but didn't respond, exiting and sealing the door behind it. Leo's words hung in the air, fueling the group's determination. They weren't about to sit here and be lab rats for these aliens. "All right, we've dealt with worse than this, right?" Chloe said, rallying her friends. "We need a plan, and we need it now." Zoe examined the door, noticing a small control panel beside it. After years of fiddling with electronics, she had developed a knack for hacking systems. "Give me a few minutes. I think I can override this." The others kept watch as she worked, each taking stock of their surroundings. Malik, a martial artist, studied the structure of the room and possible choke points. Sam, a natural strategist, mentally mapped out their escape route based on the brief glimpse of the corridors outside. After what felt like an eternity, Zoe managed to disable the door's lock. It slid open silently, and they peered out into the dimly lit hallway. It was mostly empty, save for the occasional alien scuttling down another corridor. They moved stealthily, communicating through hand signals, their years of survival training guiding their every step. As they passed what looked like an armory, Malik couldn't resist. "If we're going to fight, we need weapons," he whispered. They slipped inside, each of them grabbing a weapon, although alien technology was unfamiliar and clunky. Zoe grabbed a small, glowing device, which she instinctively knew was some form of hacking tool. They continued down the corridor, but they were soon spotted by a patrol. The aliens let out a high-pitched alarm, and chaos ensued. Malik and Sam moved forward, disarming and taking down the guards with precision. Chloe and Leo covered their flanks, each adjusting to their new weapons with surprising ease. Zoe hacked into the nearest control panel, causing doors to lock and lights to flicker, adding to the confusion among the aliens. As they pressed forward, they began to realize that their captors weren't prepared for resistance. These aliens were scientists, not soldiers, and their lack of combat training became obvious as the teens dispatched them one by one. They eventually reached what they assumed was the command center. It was a vast room filled with flashing lights and screens, where a tall, imposing alien with red markings on its face was furiously barking orders. The alien leader sneered at them. "You think you can take on the Clither Empire? You're nothing but untrained animals." "Maybe," Chloe replied with a smirk. "But you're the ones who abducted Earth's deadliest teenagers." The alien let out a roar, raising a weapon. But Chloe, quick on her feet, dodged to the side, sending Malik and Sam forward to engage. They fought with ferocity, drawing on years of practice to outmaneuver their captors. Leo provided cover fire from behind, while Zoe used the alien hacking tool to disable parts of the ship's defense systems. The battle was intense and exhausting. Each alien they encountered was stronger and faster than a human, but the teens had something far more powerful: relentless drive for survival and an unbreakable bond. Eventually, after what felt like hours, the teens managed to overpower the alien leader, bringing him to his knees. With a final command, Zoe disabled the ship's internal security, and an emergency evacuation alarm blared through the corridors. The remaining aliens fled, unable to deal with the primitive humans who had taken control of their own ship. As the adrenaline faded, the teens looked around at each other, bruised but victorious. They were stranded on an alien ship, somewhere in the galaxy, but they had one advantage. They knew how to survive, and they were a team. Chloe took a deep breath, steadying herself. "We're not out of the woods yet, but we're in control. Let's figure out how to get back home." With Zoe at the helm, the group set out to pilot the alien ship, their eyes set on Earth and their hearts steeled for whatever challenges lay ahead. The aliens had seen them as weak and vulnerable, but they'd learned the hard way that Earth's youth were anything but defenseless. In that moment, the teens became legends, their story destined to echo across the stars as the tale of the captives who had defied the galaxy.